Look, I can't help but think that now might be a good time. Look, I can't help but think that now might be a good time for a little fire and ice. Please do not know.
There is never a good time for fire and ice.
What happens when you mix fire and ice?
Warm water, baby.
It's bubbling, baby. Warm water. Warm water.
It is a Saturday afternoon. Mike Tipton, Brandon, the Iceman, Cone, Tabor, Halpern coming at you live from Buffalo Wild Wings on the west side of El Paso, 655 Sunland Park Drive. Hoping that everyone is having a fantastic day so far. A lot of stuff to talk about, especially when it comes to the NBA. Local stuff. You guys can see the hat right here. We're in the El Paso Locomotive hat. We have our first game of the season happening tonight. The broadcast, Duke Keith, who is the voice of the broadcast, will be joining us a little bit later. Brendan, I'm excited that we're getting, you know, I'm not a big soccer fan,
right,
but I'm excited that we're getting soccer back here in El Paso.
Absolutely. I mean, come on, it's huge. And you know what? You could tell they were prepping the stadium last night. I drove downtown and had the lights on.
Yep.
I guess they were probably making sure, the field was okay and this, that, and the other. And, you're there all the time, so you know what the drill is. And, I mean, soccer is back. Minor league baseball is less than a month away here. Exactly 1 month away is the Chihuahuas will get another season underway here. And you know what? It's great because you have that downtime here for baseball and, of course, for soccer. But I bet you it's going to be a hell of a good crowd tonight. I imagine, huh?
I mean, I'm super excited about the stuff, and I'm sure if you've been, kind of keeping along with some of the news now, obviously I don't know a whole bunch of stuff that's going on with, team signings and things of that nature. But if you were watching the news, Ted Lasso star, the guy that played Danny Rojas, practicing with the team. I'm not sure if he's going to be at the stadium, but it would be awesome to see him out there, even getting the opportunity to just, play a guy that, is an actor, but actually played soccer at a high level before becoming an actor. Played with Chicago last year. I didn't even know that was a thing, but played with Chicago last year. And then, of course, coming here, Christian Fernandez with the El Paso Locomotive. It's awesome to see. And again, I don't know if I don't think he's going to be out on the pitch. I don't know anything of that nature, but it would just be awesome to see that out there.
For sure. I mean, how cool is that for the organization and, a local celebrity or a national celebrity, whatever. It was a cool show, Ted Lasso. So, I mean, the fact that he's trying to get a soccer career going and you know what, always great entertainment here for the Sun City. And I tell you what, it's always wonderful to see the type of crowds, the rowdiness that comes with, that particular brand. And as you know, they have their loyal fans, man. They really, really do. And let me ask you this: how's the stadium? How's the field? How's everything? Because I haven't. Obviously, we went there for the Grease a couple weeks ago, the media tasting, which was amazing.
I am looking forward to some of the food that's out there. The bargain bites. It's been one of the things that I've shared it out on social media. The bargain bites. So now it's kind of like a value meal that you have out at Southwest University Park, and it's awesome to see the way that the fan base, El Paso, has kind of embraced that, being like, stuff was so expensive, which I don't necessarily agree with, but now it's even more affordable, and that's what makes it super awesome. Because to get back what you're talking about, our stadium, I got to watch on Thursday, because what happens is we convert the baseball stadium into a soccer stadium, so we have to cover the infield diamond with sod, and the mound that we have, the pitcher's mound, is retractable. It's one of the few retractable pitcher's mounds in any stadium here, right? So they retract the mound, they do all the stuff to make it nice and level, they bring in the sod. And watching our grounds crew, our amazing grounds crew, Tony and the team over there, they are doing a phenomenal job at making sure it's taken care of, it's watered the way it needs to be, it's fed the way it needs to be. This stadium, the way the grass looks right now, it's just absolutely perfect, which is weird for El Paso because we don't get water. We don't get a lot of stuff. The temperature fluctuation is wild here. If you don't know anything about El Paso, in the wintertime, we can have a day that starts at 30 degrees and it has a high of 75, a 45-degree temperature variation. It's hard for the grass, but you know what? The stadium's looking great. The whole crew out there, making sure all the seats are ready for everyone, all the suites are ready for everyone. We've been putting in a lot of work, and I mean a lot of work. Like if my goofy ass has been there averaging about 14 hours a day.
Yeah.
I haven't had a day off since before my birthday, which was February 17th. We're all putting in work to make sure that we have a great looking stadium, a great atmosphere for everybody. We got some fun stuff planned for whenever the family comes out to an El Paso Locomotive game. It's going to be absolutely awesome.
Oh, I'm excited. I mean, like I said, that field, when it's in, just pristine shape, it's as beautiful as it gets. And you know what? We talk about this tonight. The fans will get to see the new grease, some of the new things. And you know what?
Yes.
When you and I did the media tasting, they asked us at the end, they said, well, we'd rather clothe you than feed you. They said, look at the most of them. Oh, damn, you fellas can eat. I was a sample getter for us. Tipton's he's working, right? And I'm just going to grab this and that. And every time he came back, there was like 5 more samples in front of him. But,
so that came in clutch, though.
Oh,
that did come in clutch. You were a lifesaver.
I'm going to mention my favorites.
Go ahead. Yeah.
So without a doubt, they have like a mac and cheese that's just to die for with pulled pork, jalapenos. I think, was there like onion or something? It was like
there were onions on there
onions
as well.
and then some sort of like barbecue sauce. That was incredible. And then I also really liked the hot dogs that we tried. There was like a jalapeno popper, I think, dog.
Yep.
Oh my God, that was amazing with bacon. It was bacon wrapped, of course. That's one of their signatures.
The way that we love our food.
We like our food. We butter our bacon, and they have a California burger that was damn good. I enjoy that, and the ribs.
Oh,
you like ribs?
The ribs to me
you
were
like
amazing.
ribs, son?
And again, like I know it's super basic, but it's also a thing that you can mess up really easily.
Yeah.
They had an amazing grilled chicken sandwich.
Oh yeah.
That I loved, and I am picky with my chicken. I don't like a dried chicken. No one likes a dried chicken.
Right.
This was a nice juicy chicken. Absolutely amazing. It was great. I do want to go over some of the things that they have here. As I'm looking it up here, they have the pimento chicken sliders. Those reminded me a lot of my mom. My mom, a little older of a woman, she always loved her pimento sandwiches that they got. But that's $5, and that is the most expensive thing on the Bargain Bites menu. And then you got the barbecue meatballs. We had those barbecue meatballs. Those meatballs were amazing. $4. The pretzel bites with cheese. Pretzel bites with cheese, I think, is a winner with everybody, right? You got those at $4. Your $3 menu are the beans and cheese taquitos, a 12-ounce Budweiser can. Look at that.
That's a great deal.
Small nachos, the pasta pomodoro, the small popcorn, and then, of course, a value hot dog. And, I mean, that is awesome.
And that's great,
man.
because, in the past, remember, their shtick was like Tuesdays and Thursdays, where you had to wait a certain day to get a value hot dog or a value beer. But now it's every day. And one thing that I liked from the value menu, the absolute most, it was the meatballs.
Yeah.
I know you love balls, and let me tell you some.
Even more so when they're in my mouth.
Oh, that's what I hear. And anyways, oh God, poor David. Those meatballs were good. Like they had a very unique taste to them.
They were
what were they like?
I wish I could. Like, I wish I was one of those people, because like I love food. Obviously, we love food.
Yeah,
but I wish I was one of. I wish I was one of those people where I can take a bite of something, and then taste it and be like, oh yeah, this has saffron in it, or like any of that nonsense. Which again, I feel like the only way they pull that off is because they had to look at the menu previously and like, oh okay, now I know what's actually in this damn thing.
Right.
But I mean, I guess if you're like a chef, like our chef Adriana, it's a little different than just a couple of dudes who just love to put food in their mouth.
Right.
I was going to say who love to put balls in their mouth, but that came out wrong.
It does, no. But we tried the pimento cheese sandwiches, and of course, pimento cheese. That's a signature classic from the Masters. In Augusta. And then I didn't try the pretzel bites, but they look good. Look, I mean, anything value, everybody's looking for a deal nowadays, rightfully so. You're gonna love the new stuff. You really are. It's awesome. I mean, it's and of course, again, the environment, the atmosphere. I'm gonna be seeing you a lot over there. Yes. We're back, man. We are friggin' back. Can you believe that?
Ashley over on on YouTube asking, is the menu only for the Locos or is it for baseball as well? It is anytime the stadium is open. Yeah. So whenever the stadium is there and we have concessions, it will be there. Those bargain bites. It is absolutely awesome. I am a little jealous of y'all as people who get to go as fans and not someone that has to work. Like I'm strategically planning days off so that I can enjoy some of these. Like, I already told y'all, like I want to do the 9, 9, and 9. the 9 beers, 9 hot dogs, 9 innings. I want to do that, but I cannot do that while I'm on the clock.
I'll join you.
I mean, I can.
I'll join you.
But it wouldn't be recommended.
You have to be off.
Yes, I do have to be off.
And you know what? I am going to find a full version of that big ass jalapeno popper dog.
Oh yeah,
it's a big weenie. It really, I mean, that was good. We tried it. We did it Lady and Tramp style.
We did,
and that was damn good, man.
We did.
That really was. And they had another one that was good too. I can't remember. It was some sort of jalapeno cream on it or something.
Yeah, like the Wattis dog they have, like all that stuff to me was just absolutely phenomenal. They did such a good job. Again, like I know I sound like I'm a company man, but Brandon, I've said this for a long time, even before working there. The atmosphere at that baseball stadium is electric, whether it's for soccer, whether it's for baseball. And whenever it comes down to the food options that they give you at the stadium, it is bar none one of the best, if not the best.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I always love the food there. The food there's tremendous. It really is. And you know what? I'll be honest with you. It's hard to find a really good hot dog in El Paso. It really is. You know, there's Wiener Schnitzel and whatever, this, that,
but
and the other.
Even Wiener Schnitzel isn't
it's not gourmet shit, you know what I mean? But that is a good I've always liked the hot dogs. And you know what? They got these when they're really, really huge. I don't know if you tried one, but it's like where the Juarez dogs are, right?
Yeah.
And they have one that's like a foot long Philly cheesesteak dog.
Yes.
Those are like, oh my goodness, like if you better go hungry, you could share that amongst 3 people. I mean, that's a foot longer for you. You know what I mean?
I mean, and again, like that's one of the things I love about just like sports venues, right? Is like whenever you have food that's unique to your sports venue. And I don't know if the Sun Bowl necessarily has any of that. Like, obviously, we go to a lot of games. I don't know if Haskins Center has a lot of that. Maybe UTEP, step your game up a little bit, be like some other teams that are in the area. But I know whenever I go to Southwest University Park, I can get the nachos in the bowl, like in that dog bowl, right?
Those are great.
They had the flauta meal last year, which was absolutely phenomenal.
Sure.
One of the best perks about my job is that I get to eat for free, which is a nightmare scenario. Like, I don't know how long that's going to last. I don't think they're going to be able to go through the whole season being like, we're going to feed this fat guy.
They're going to lose money on you.
Oh, 100%. Like it was a horrible decision to tell me.
Slip in your box soon enough, I mean, yeah, but
my check is going to go to my food.
We'll give you free 50% off. They just change it. And they had those. I don't know if they still have them. Those loaded fries. Remember those?
Yes, they do.
Close to, I think it was like section 120.
Yes.
Damn good carne asada, and like chicken, buffalo chicken, and they got some good stuff, man. We like to have a good grease over there, don't we?
Oh, we do. We always
really do.
It's a great time out there. Okay. We'll talk more about
food for 15 minutes.
I was about to say, I'm talking about my work for 15 minutes is what's going on here. But hey, you got to love what you do, right? And it's a fun time out there. I hope to see everyone out there. Duke Keith will be joining us a little bit later so we can talk more about the El Paso Locomotive. But Brandon, I wanted to ask you this question.
Yes.
Did you ever at one point think, because I didn't, did you ever at one point think that the Dallas Cowboys were going to be able to pull off the Max Crosby trade?
No, I didn't think so.
Course.
I mean, I thought it was all smoke and mirrors. I mean, it's always, exciting, news and hear about it. And as a Cowboys fan, you think, oh, this is really going to be wonderful. They're finally going to do something that's worth the crap and try to revamp their defense. And then, they do what they always do. And that's unfortunately disappoint us and break our hearts. And, now the Ravens are going to get a lot better defensively. So it's
so if I can play devil's advocate, is Max Crosby worth the 2 first-round picks that he's going to be getting from the Baltimore Ravens? Because I feel like if you're the Dallas Cowboys, you've drafted really well.
Yeah.
You're not going to draft, Max Crosby right now, but maybe you draft the next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's all perspective. If he comes and performs and fits into your organization, then absolutely he's well worth it. If he's over the hill or if he's lost a step, then clearly it wasn't worth it. Would I have said it was worth it? Probably, because their defense is not that good. And their defense, that type of player like that, let's look at how much better their defense got last year with the kid they acquired from the Jets, Quincy.
Oh, yeah. Quincy,
okay. Yeah. So, one player, for those of you that can't think and don't think that one player can make all the difference, one player can make an abundance and a plethora of difference, But
again, to argue against that point, they finished with the 32nd ranked defense in the NFL and the worst defense in Dallas Cowboys.
They had a few games where they were looking better, but then they reverted back to their crappy.
Yeah. And of course, obviously, Max Crosby, along with Williams, along with also Umanura as well, it would have been a decent defensive line. But to me, the Dallas Cowboys have so much more issues on defense. Like don't touch the offense.
Yeah.
You put the franchise tag on George Pickens. We'll see how that plays out in the long run. He is a little bit of a diva wide receiver. We speak about diva wide receivers all the time, but you have the franchise tag on him. You have to, in my opinion, since you weren't able to get Max Crosby, this entire draft needs to be defensive heavy.
No doubt. I mean, and look, offensively, we know they're okay. They are. The George Pickens is going to stay, and they have the receivers, they have the running backs, they have the decent line, they have the quarterback there. Now, offense is not their problem. If they can just revamp that defense and get that defense going, then they can most definitely be a contender. And if anything was proven this year, if anything was proven in the NFL, it's that any team can have a 1-year turnaround and go on to win the Super Bowl. Any team, and don't think it's going to last, because it just doesn't last. I think Kenneth Walker is going to sign with somebody else. That changes, Charbonnet's then your starting running back in Seattle, and he's hurt. But the bottom line is that, look, 1 year, complete 360. And this is what they could do by revamping that defense potentially.
And let's talk about that. Let's talk about Kenneth Walker III, who is the Super Bowl MVP, the reigning Super Bowl MVP, who is not going to get a contract extension with the Seattle Seahawks, which again shows I was talking about this the other day, but it shows the complete devaluation of the running back position.
Yeah.
But then I ask you this question. What team out there really needs a running back right now that Kenneth Walker would wind up being the highest paid running back as a free agent? Like what team out there is going to spend that kind of money on a running? I get that he is the reigning Super Bowl MVP.
Yeah.
But you look at all the teams that are out there, and most of them seem pretty stacked at running back.
Yeah, I think the Chiefs are making a play for him. I feel the Chiefs definitely need a running back. I don't think that they have a concrete running back right now. I mean, you're not going to say that Hunt is or a Pacheco, who's clearly lost a step.
Well, and they're both free agents,
right? And they could very well go somewhere else. I mean, I do think there's a few teams out there that would dish out the shekels, because let's face it. I mean, in my wholehearted opinion, when Charbonnet was out of the picture, he stepped up to be one of the best running backs in the NFL the last 5 or 6 weeks of the season, and then some. And I mean, he's still very young. I mean, I don't think they've ever completely exploited his full potential, but the way they've mismanaged him and used him as a committee back. That's stupid when you have. And granted, he's had the injuries and all that, but who hasn't? I think he's a really good running back, and I think he's just now getting to his prime. I think you should pay the guy. I mean, whoever it is, I think this guy's got an awful lot of potential going forward.
So let's talk a little bit about this, because we haven't been able to do a couple of shows over the last couple of weeks, just scheduling issues and whatnot. But a lot of free agents that are out there. You got someone like Mike Evans, right? Mike Evans, a phenomenal wide receiver, 11 straight seasons of 1,000 yards or more as a receiver. Obviously, the mainstay of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He is now a free agent here. What would the market look like for him?
Mike Evans, it's a very interesting scenario, because he proved that he still has it even in his elder statesman, years. And I mean, he started off strong, but then he got injured and miraculously came back and looked pretty good. I think he could get some shekels. I think there's going to be some teams out there that want that veteran leadership. And he also, you have a good quarterback with him. He's going to be still a top tier receiver, but the big thing is you're not going to pay him a ridiculous amount just because you're fear of injury.
Yeah.
And he is a little up there. He's a little long in the tooth.
And he has, over the last couple of seasons, been injured a whole bunch. And again, I don't think that he'll be, obviously he's not going to be the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL, but I mean,
but here's the thing.
You put Mike Evans on a contending team,
you're going to be happy. And here's the thing. If you get 3/4 of a season out of him, that's good. That's good. He could help you win a Super Bowl.
And that's the weird thing to me is Tampa Bay, I don't think is far away. Obviously they got snake bit by a lot of injuries last year. Bucky Irvin was hurt last year. Mike Evans, we spoke about, was hurt. Chris Godwin always just seems to always be hurt as well. But they have some building blocks there. That offensive line was injured. Maybe they get the whole offensive line back this season. And then you got Mike Evans again, who we can say maybe he's not the number one guy in Tampa Bay with the emergence of Emeka Egbuka, but I mean, that's still a really damn good number two.
No doubt. I mean, come on, that guy's he's a Hall of Famer. He's huge. He does his thing, and he's a damn good receiver. I mean, when healthy, he's definitely one of the top receivers in the NFL. And I mean, again, sometimes a receiver is only as good as his QB. Well, you get a gunslinger hell, man, I'll take that guy on any team.
Yeah, and
You know?
this is what I was going to say. Like, it kind of makes me feel like what happened with the Chargers and Keenan Allen, right? Like, Keenan Allen was great with the Chargers, with Phillip Rivers, with Justin Herbert in the early years of Justin Herbert. Winds up going to, I want to say, Chicago and then Pittsburgh in that one season. And then comes back to the Chargers, Superchargers.
Look at how well he did.
And he did really good, right?
Well. He was like their number one.
And for me, if you're Tampa Bay, why even risk it?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
no, I don't
sign the
disagree.
guy.
And one thing I do, I think you got to take care of business. I agree. You know, he's been there his whole career. Let him have his last year or two with you. One thing I wasn't sure whether I agree or not was the Bears trading away DJ Moore. That was a little weird. I mean, I know that Luther Burden's good. I know Colston's a good tight end, but, you know, and I know they have $44 million to play with now, which is nice, but dude, I mean, that dude had a pretty good year last year, and Williams is starting to become a good QB.
I think if you look at it, like, DJ Moore wasn't the focal point of the offense because you still have Roma Dunze.
Right.
You have Luther Burden, like you said, but I had Luther Burden on multiple fantasy teams.
He was good.
He was okay at the end of the year.
Yeah.
The beginning of the year, he was nowhere to be seen.
Garbage.
And they were relying a lot on Olamide Zaccheaus, right? So for me, it's like, okay, you can have those three guys. They're all on team-friendly contracts, especially Odunze and Luther Burden on their rookie contracts right now. So maybe you use that money in space and help out the defense. Because I think the offense for the Bears wasn't the problem this past season. It was, being able to hold on to leads, being able to stop teams, being able to do that, right? Like they were a better version of the Dallas Cowboys that made it to the playoffs. So that's the way that I look at them. And the one thing that I think could bite you in the ass on this is DJ Moore was kind of like a safety blanket.
He was.
But you look at what they've got. Like, they've got Cole Kmet. They've got Colston Loveland. Right. They've got a pretty damn good
not
team.
Like I said, you got a lot of money to play with now. And that's the thing is that, this team is gonna come and go with Caleb Williams, and he's just gonna get better. And obviously they have a pretty damn good running game, and they have a good O-line, and I think they need to improve their defense a lot. But $44 million is nothing to sneeze at. So I mean, I just and for Buffalo, I mean, hey, Josh Allen has a number one. He really sure he had an abundance of Shakur and the other kid, but they I don't know, they never had really that since they lost. Oh God, he went to New England. Diggs. It's like they haven't had that number one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that comes in huge for them is being able to have a guy that they know that they can rely upon as their number one receiver in Buffalo, and maybe that helps out Josh Allen. I just still, again,
you're not sold on him, are you?
No, the defense in Buffalo is horrendous, and
garbage.
I don't know if DJ Moore is the answer.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm curious to see what type of an impact he has with a quarterback like Josh Allen. I really am, because you get a quarterback like Allen, that could be a game changer. Like, I'm taking a chance at him in fantasy next year as the number one in Buffalo.
You've been on Buffalo for a while, and it hasn't worked out for you.
They break my heart every year. I'm the unofficial Bills fan. I mean, I really just like Josh Allen. Unfortunately, he shits the bed every year in the postseason, though. What a shame. What could have been, right?
I mean, maybe he will do something this year. Again, like, he had the easiest road he could have asked for to a Super Bowl this year. And again, like you said, just absolutely shit the bed. But whatever, it's all right.
I mean, if Buffalo ends up making it to the Super Bowl, they end up losing to Seattle anyways. Let's face it,
Oh, yeah.
Seattle was that good. Seattle's defense was historically good.
Yes,
it wasn't as good as the Legion of Boom, but it was up there as being.
It was a really good defense.
Very good defense.
That whole team. It is going to be interesting to see what happens with Seattle moving forward, especially losing their offensive coordinator, like now being the head coach. Being the head coach in Vegas.
There's our buddy Duke.
But just knowing that you have that, that you won a Super Bowl with this team, with this core. I feel like if you don't win a Super Bowl going forward, you're fine, right? Because no one thought you were going to
got
win.
A Super Bowl. You didn't make the playoffs the year before, and you do have that defense. And if you have a superior defense, you can build around it for years to come. And again, it's not, I wouldn't say, it's one of the top 5 best Super Bowl defenses of all time, but it was pretty damn good, man. I mean, it was a very, very good defense.
I will say this, I can definitively say that the Seattle Seahawks 2025 defense was one of the top 60 defenses in Super Bowl history.
That's a very bold statement. I mean, wow, you really went out on a limb there.
I did. I 100% went out on a limb.
Would you say is in the top 30? I mean, Duke, my buddy,
we got our guy Duke Keith coming in to join us here on Fire and Ice as we are live over here at Buffalo Wild Wings, 655 Sunland Park Drive. Brandon, while Duke gets settled in, tell us a little bit about the specials.
So get this, guys. We got this little shtick that Tip and I like, this ultimate sample. You get to pick 4 onion rings, little sliders, boneless wings. Then we have a feature draft, $4 Wild Herd, $5 Coors Light, $6 tall 22-ounce Blue Moons. You have discounted appetizers after 9 o'clock at night. And then, of course, Monday through Friday, you have your happy hour. $4 features. You have vodka, gin. My goodness. And then they have this new boozy Dunkin' cold brew. We tried that martini last time. That was just absolute heaven.
we know what Duke was going to be drinking coming up a little bit later on. I'm a big fan of Dunkin' Donuts. Like, I stopped by more than I probably should. Whenever I lived in Connecticut, I had like 3 of them right down the street from me. It was wild to see. But ladies and gentlemen, it is time to introduce our guest, the only person who I am jealous of their voice, one and only, the mythological Duke Keith, hanging out with us here on Fire and Ice. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing fine, Tip. How are you?
I am fantastic.
Wonderful to see you,
Duke. It's been a minute. I missed you.
Go Panthers.
Yes, sir. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you, man. What an honor it is to be sitting next to you between the two of you fellas. I feel insignificant right now.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my goodness.
This is like a 600 ESPN radio reunion here. Look at this.
It is very much so.
Wonderful. The
It's great
season
to be here.
gets underway tonight, Duke.
Yes.
You got to be happier than a pig, and you know what, my friend.
Yeah, it is. It's wonderful, and a lot of positive vibes to start things off. Saw that Andy Morgan and KTSM did a little deal featuring team president Mike DiGiulio, and the subject of a new stadium was brought up for Locomotive FC, which I found to be fascinating and wonderful, and I'm very much looking forward to hearing more about it. But of course, Alan Ledford, who led Mountain Star Sports, the president before, and moving to kind of an emeritus role within the organization, it's going to be one of the things he's focusing on. So this is apparently still in the works, and that's a wonderful thing to see. But front and center, it's opening night, and it's going to be interesting to see how Locomotive has changed, and how Colorado Springs Switchbacks have changed, and what we're going to find on the pitch tonight.
So, that I'm not a huge soccer guy, but now being with the team, I've been able to kind of. I know, my God, but now being in the role that I'm in, I get to see a lot, and I get to learn a lot. And I was told that this team somehow underachieved and overachieved in the same way last season.
Pretty much.
What could we expect from it? Because they are bringing back a good core of those players.
Yeah, 15 returning players, and this is a team that scored a team record 62 goals last season, but really couldn't find their stride at the end of the year, and that was kind of that was a struggle. They did make the playoffs. They did get a home playoff berth, finishing as one of the top 4 teams in the West, but just could not make that stick, and lost in the first round. So, yeah, some changes, obviously, with the coaching staff as Wilmer Cabrera moves on and Junior Gonzalez comes in. And a lot of returning players, and certainly a lot in the attack. Yeah. They have upgraded with not only keeping Amando Moreno and Gabi Torres and all these guys that really put the ball in the back of the net, but have also added a piece like Rubio Robin, who is a dead-eye man. That guy is cold as ice. And you talk about Diego Avitia, who's been brought in from the Mexican Second Division. So there are some stud hosses out there. They're going to be able to move the ball up the pitch and really put some pressure on teams. We don't know what to expect. I mean, defense, I think, is probably the biggest question. Are they going to be able to keep the ball and keep the other team away from the goal?
Well, we don't have to worry about defense here. Everyone loves offense. Offense is the thing that sells tickets. More goals is what I need.
Right. Everybody loves the goals, don't they?
Talk about the excitement before we get to the Chihuahuas next month. The excitement of opening night for the Locomotive. Talk about how exciting you are for the crowd tonight and everybody to get jacked up. And I mean, the fact that it's been since October since we've had soccer here.
Yeah, I think the fans have been looking forward to this, and I know that they've really enjoyed Mike DiGiulio, who's been out and about in the community. That's one of his number one goals, is to be out and to speak to people, to Eighth Notch, the supporters group especially, and just to be inclusive. And I think that has gotten a lot of people fired up for the season, and just some of the signings, some of the offensive firepower that Locomotive's been able to announce. So I think that excitement will be high, and we know Eighth Notch. Those people for 7 years never sit down.
No,
always keep the drum beat working. If you're around section 105 in Southwest University Park, you know exactly who they are because you kind of get swept up in the action if you're anywhere near them. And that's kind of what a supporters group is about. And these people bring it all the time.
I love, ever since day one, the Eighth Notch has been there just supporting this team through thick and thin, through everything here. And we see how, and again, we've all been in sports long enough. We know what a home field advantage really is. It feels like with how close it is, especially with this baseball stadium, how close 105 is onto the field, that it is just something that can change the way a game goes.
It really is, especially if there's a big crowd. And this is, you look around, you go to the mall on a Saturday, you go to any store. This is a soccer city. Now, a lot of people's attention is focused south of the border, which is understandable. A lot of people are they root for the teams where they came or their families came from. But you see the soccer jerseys. This is a very knowledgeable soccer town. And if you give them something to be excited about, they're going to support you 100%. And it is a lot of fun. But yes, that is home field advantage is good at Southwest University Park simply because the fans make it so.
You call a lot of different sports. I mean, we know that, hockey, basketball, football, the whole 9 yards. How difficult or how much more challenging would you say it is to broadcast soccer versus the other sports that you do?
It is a challenge. And motion sport, I love hockey.
Yeah.
Hockey is a great motion sport.
So fast.
It is so fast, but it's a confined area.
Right. Very small.
Soccer's all over the place, and there are 22 dudes at any given time who could be anyway. I mean, there's always positions, and there's where you play. But on a set piece, everybody's packed in there, and any touch of the ball could go in, and you've got to look and identify. What have I always said, B? Names and numbers, right?
Names and numbers. That's what you used to teach me.
Yep, that's right. That's 85 to 90% of the battle right there.
That.
Yep. Knowing who's doing it.
Exactly.
And that's not the easiest thing in soccer because it could be anybody from anywhere. And if they have similar hairstyles, boy, it's a challenge, man. It's a challenge. I feel good that I can see their faces. It's not helmets, but yeah, I mean, football's regimented. Quarterback's going to get the ball.
Sure.
If he's passing, it's one of maybe 4 or 5 guys up the field, and those are the people you're looking for. Soccer's anybody from anywhere. So it's a real challenge because it's so spread out.
Sure.
And anybody could be there.
It's an interesting perspective too.
Yeah.
Duke always used to, when I did UTEP women's basketball, Duke, what do? I was like a deer in the headlights. B, names and numbers. Don't be a schmuck. Learn the names, learn the numbers. I used to do flashcards, which he liked. I told you I'd be on the beach in Boca Raton studying my flashcards, but that's how I learned it. Names and numbers.
That's true. I don't know about the Yiddish, but yeah. Yeah, we got it going. I may have thrown in a little Yiddish.
You may have.
I mean, he's taught me a lot of Yiddish, so if I'm using Yiddish, I know someone else had to as well.
Yes.
At one point in time. Okay, so what are we expecting with, tonight being the home opener? What should we expect? As, again, you are the voice, the face, in my opinion, of the El Paso Locomotive as they're getting ready to take on the Colorado Springs Switchbacks.
I think these are two teams that like to press and get after you. Colorado Springs, Alan McCann is their new head coach, taking over last year. James Chambers was fired. They did sneak into the playoffs, but like Locomotive, had a very disappointing finish. So they made a change. But Alan McCann has been part of the Switchbacks organization for a long time. So he's got that, I guess back in the day it was Bethlehem Steel and Philadelphia Union now from MLS and that lineage. He's a part of that. And so he's been there for a while. So they're not going to change a whole lot in their philosophy. This is a team that likes to high press. 2 seasons ago, they won the championship, 2024. So this is, they want to get back there. So they've made some changes, and I think that you're going to find a lot of action. I think fans can expect goals, maybe from both teams. We'll see, but I think you're this legitimately. I'm thinking there's a team could score 3 or 4 goals in this to be a winner, if not more. There was a wild game up in Colorado Springs a few years back where Locomotive trailed at the half 3-0, came back to tie and take the lead 4-3, and then switchbacks tied at 4-4. We can have a game like that tonight.
I'm looking forward
It's
to
going to
a
be
game
exciting.
like that.
Absolutely, yeah.
My very first game in the role that I'm in now last year was the Locomotive scoring 6 goals in that one game. And I was like, this is the type of soccer I can watch for the remainder of time. Like, this is fun.
The next game 0-0.
Yeah. It is the beautiful game, except when it isn't.
Know.
Yes.
You just never know. I mean, what should fans' realistic expectations be of this organization going into this year?
I think that their expectations are always to make the playoffs.
Sure.
And this is an organization that is, I mean, Mountain Star Sports Group is one of the most well thought of leadership teams and ownership organizations in the league. And they routinely prove that. I mean, you just look at Southwest University Park. It's not a soccer stadium, obviously. It's built for the Chihuahuas. But just the facility, I think anybody who's been there has been impressed with the way they carry themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And that translates certainly to Locomotive. And I think that, they've made themselves a part of the community. And I think that it's a strong team. Not making the playoffs is unacceptable.
Of course not.
So,
I mean, that's the only way to do it,
Right. I think getting into the playoffs, trying to get a home berth as they did, I mean, 2025 is a pretty good starting point for your goals. Home playoff berth would be wonderful. So that means a top 4 spot in the West. I think that is reachable. What's the organization going to do to get there? I don't know. There have been a lot of teams that are making moves in the Western Conference. I know FC Tulsa wants to stay on top. This is the team that made the championship match before losing to Pittsburgh, who was the eventual USL champion. In Tulsa, they had the best record in the league, so they had home field advantage throughout. And then Sacramento is always strong. New Mexico has reloaded. I know Locomotive kind of jumped on them in the exhibition game, but that's an exhibition game. They're going to be rested and ready every time New Mexico plays El Paso, which they're going to play 3 times, twice in El Paso this season. So that should be good. The very last match of the season, home match versus New Mexico United, is going to be a lot of fun. So I would expect New Mexico to be where they were last year, and a lot of teams in the West. So it's not going to be easy, but a top 4 finish is what you're looking for.
With all the games that you have called for the Locomotive, I was about to go out on a limb and say all the games you have called ever.
Oh gosh.
What has been one of those games that has just stuck out to you like this was the most amazing game I've seen?
Wow, there have been a few, and now you're making me sort through the Rolodex. Things don't work as well as they used to.
Well, back in 1940.
Yeah, right.
Back when soccer was invented.
Right. Could be like my grandfather could tell you that, the starting lineup for the 1950 Oklahoma Sooners, but couldn't remember where his glasses were. That's the way I kind of am right now.
Man.
I will say one of them that stood out to me was in season 1. The game that got them into the Western Conference Finals at Southwest University Park. And that was an amazing finish. I remember there were a couple of very late goals scored. I believe it was Sacramento Republic was the game. And that was just such a wonderful atmosphere. And just to see Locomotive come through like that and get where they eventually were. They, 2 consecutive Western Conference Finals berths in their first 2 seasons. So that kind of set the standard. Mark Lowry set the bar pretty high. Locomotive still trying to get back there. And I think those first 2 seasons were really wonderful. Those were great.
Southwest University Park, you talk about it is a wonderful facility. How realistic of an opportunity do you think it'll be going forward to actually get this new stadium? Because let's face it, I mean, they really do need their own stadium.
They do. I agree. A baseball facility. We saw some opposition coaches have a little problem with the field at times last
That's
season.
what I'm saying,
And, you've got the retractable pitcher's mound. They invested in that, which was an invention of the folks who own the Louisville Sluggers and Louisville City before they moved into their new stadium. The guy who ran that team basically invented the retractable pitcher's mound. So they invested in that, but you still have to lay turf over a pitcher's mound, and it doesn't flow right. And we see, sections of turf come up, and it's just what it is. I think it's absolutely critical that this team gets its own stadium at some point, and I think Mountain Star Sports Group agrees.
Yes, 100%.
That's, I think, the most important thing. This is a group that when they put their minds to something, go out and make something happen.
Yeah.
It might take a little bit. I mean, you can't just pop up a stadium overnight.
No,
It's going to be years, but
one other question I had is, do they have any idea of where they're going to put this new stadium?
Right.
I know. That's the $1 million question, maybe multi-million-dollar question. Absolutely. Where can you build? How much you're going to have to pay to get that land? Obviously, I think that they want it downtown. That seems to be the standard for the way things work. You want it to be near places where people can go before and after a game. I remember in the discussions before they built Southwest University Park, the talk was, they were thinking about renovating Cohen Stadium, and the Pacific Coast League said, no, it's got to be downtown. You don't want, they call it a donut stadium. You have a big parking lot with a stadium in the middle and nothing else around it, just a big hole. And so they made the point to bring it down to where City Hall was, build the stadium, and I think Southwest University Park is a beautiful venue, and it's a perfect place.
Of course.
So I think that's what they're looking for, but that confines you to a certain area, doesn't it? And then it becomes hard because there's obviously buildings with multiple ownership groups. Who owns what? How much do you have to pay to get the land and then clear it and then build the stadium? So it's going to be a process, but I know that they want it to be downtown.
Yeah, and why not? Because downtown has become so awesome and so beautiful that adding another stadium would just kind of, to me, be the cherry on top and bring so many more things to that area that we need.
Absolutely. I think it's, you hear the discussions about building a deck over I-10, which is, man, that's crazy. That is crazy talk to me. That is absolutely crazy talk. But
you mean you wouldn't want to go to the edge of a deck that's over a freeway?
Why not? Right? Let's play park. Oh, go long. Not too long. But I think this is a city that when it, over the last, I'd say 10 to 20 years, the mindset has changed in El Paso. I've been here since 1990. I know you guys have been here. You're from El Paso. B, I know you've been here for a lot of years. I think we've all seen the city change over the last decade or two. So when, and Mountain Star Sports Group is kind of one of the outlets of that, if you will. They kind of show when the city puts its mind to something, they can make it happen. I'm not completely sure that they can get it completely downtown. There might be some areas near UTEP or something, but I know that that's the objective, and I think that that would be wonderful. I mean, the only question is exactly where.
That and the shekels.
The shekels.
Who's going to pay for it?
Who's going to pay for it?
That's the $25 million question.
Yeah.
But let's face it. You and I both know if it can actually happen, that would be huge.
It would be huge.
You know what I mean?
It would be huge.
That would be huge, right?
Well, I mean, again,
and then how many seats?
10, maybe 10, 15.
I would say that the standard is. The discussion is obviously the USL Championship, the USL as a league is going to add another layer on the top and be a first division on par with Major League Soccer, at least on paper. I think, operationally, you're not going to have the same payrolls as MLS when you've got Lionel Messi and so forth in that league. You're not going to see those kinds of players, at least at the start. But on par, on paper, first division, second division, third division, with promotion and relegation like they do it virtually everywhere else in the world. That's a big step. But there are standards. The U.S. Soccer has set standards as to, how many seats your stadium has to have if you're going to be first division. And are they going to relent a little bit and allow kind of communities to build into that? I think those standards were set with a different thing in mind, with a different concept of, what your team was going to be. Very much thinking, okay, well, Major League Soccer is always just going to be the first division league, and then everybody else is going to do what they do. But this is going to change. The USL has permission. They've got the go ahead from U.S. Soccer to make this plan, but there's going to have to be some leeway given by U.S. Soccer to allow say a Union Omaha, which has their own stadium now, and some of these League One teams, which is the level below where Locomotive plays in the championship, say they advance themselves and get promoted all the way to the top level. Well, I mean, if you have an 8,000 seat stadium, are they going to let you play there?
Right.
I think the standard is 15,000,
which is a slippery slope, just because you want to have enough people to get the big events, but you don't want it to be half empty.
Right.
You want having a lot of people there too. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
You got
yeah, exactly.
So
You have to be sharp about it. So
right, and that's kind of up to U.S. Soccer as to what they're going to allow, and then Locomotive, when they get their plan for a stadium, you can figure out exactly how many seats you want.
Right.
In 2012, whenever something passed about a stadium that was about 12,000 seats that would have been built downtown, like if that had already been built, we wouldn't have this problem right now, would we?
Did I say that out loud?
I'm just saying. What do I know about
what
it?
is El Paso? El Paso doesn't need that.
Yeah,
come on now. We don't need to be like the other cities.
But again, I love hearing this talk, and and again, I don't want to sound like a company man, but I've been on this stance for as long as I can remember when it comes to local things here in El Paso. I love the fact that we have an ownership group with Mountain Star Sports that is willing to invest in the city. And in quality of life, and in giving us these little things like that we've got. There's just something awesome to say about that, and the fact that they want to do that here in El Paso, because we have before seen a team leave El Paso.
Yes,
we need to do everything we can to keep those teams here.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. And I think that this is an ownership group with the right ideas and the right mindset to make those things happen. And certainly the capital to the shekels, as you say, to make that happen if and when they want to.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I mean, we've seen so many tremendous strides over the last 20 years in this town. Let's keep it going.
Sure.
Swear to God, let's keep it going on. You know what I mean?
I like it.
Absolutely.
I like it.
You and me both, my friend.
All right, Duke, before we leave today's show, you need to tell us how people can watch the broadcast tonight.
Okay. We are on kvia.com. So if you go to kvia.com, we're streaming live. Or if you have the ESPN package, if you've got your Disney package, ESPN, Hulu, and Disney, or you bundle or whatever, if you just have ESPN, we're on ESPN Plus as well. That is live tonight at 7 o'clock. Our buddy Joe Rodriguez will be in the broadcast booth with me, and we're going to have a rotating bunch. Joe will be here tonight, but we'll also have Gibbs Keaton, the head coach of the UTEP women's soccer team, and Holly Mata, Holly Cohen-Mata, who was been my broadcast partner before. We got Gibbs in the playoff game, and he did a wonderful job. Holly's been excellent. So I look forward to different knowledge bases with Joe and Holly and Gibbs and the way they can call a game. We know Joe can talk, don't we?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And,
That's the understatement of the year.
Yes. We know Joe can talk. So that's just what I like. Why he's the best color man in the business.
Yenta, Yenta. We need a Yenta.
Yeah. Yes.
More Yiddish for you.
Yes.
So, of course, we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun time. Obviously, I'm going to be out there doing my thing. Brandon, we hope to see you guys get out there.
Yes.
Dave, or sometime maybe you get on out there. Brandon, before we leave, tell everybody one more time about the specials that we got.
Duke's salivating. We have the ultimate sampler here. You get 4 different things, Duke. We and then you got $4 features, Jameson green tea. You have vodka, gin, tequila. You also have a happy hour 3 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday, where you get half off appetizers, and of course you get deals late night as well. Come on, UFC tonight, big UFC card.
Oh, man.
Come on and watch it over here at B-Dubs.
No, go out to Southwest University Park. Watch the El Paso Locomotive.
That too, of
do
course.
that. And if you can't make it out to Southwest University
We're
Park,
promoting both.
ESPN Plus is a place.
Watch
that you
our
wanna
buddy
watch
Duke.
it.
Watch our buddy and listen to him. Come see him live. That's what I really meant, Duke.
Thank you, babe. Appreciate that.
All right,
Ringing endorsement.
Yes, you're my buddy. I love you, Duke.
Thank you guys for having me.
We appreciate you, Duke. Thank you.
Yeah, hey, drop.